конца возвращались поутру в свое родное Катманду. И солнце в синих небесах без одежды и стыда исполняла Нура танец живота.
If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Alright. Time to get the show. What show? Oh my. Trying to get the show on the road. I was watching a video with Mudahar. I think Mudahar. Trying to see if I can pronounce that name right, but yeah. So, some ordinary gamer, yeah, Mudahar. Yeah, smart fellow. He was talking about Canadian YouTube bill C-11. So basically, in a nutshell, they're trying to regulate the flow of, I guess, information through legislation from the Canadian government is basically pushing more oversight. And what does this mean about YouTube freedom? Freedom of speech? I mean, trying to wrap my mind around it. I mean, it gets very dry when you get into the nitty-gritty details, but I think yeah, Mudahar, he broke it down a little bit better than I could. But basically, our freedoms are basically once again in jeopardy. Like, let's say that, okay, how should I say this? You know how, like, in other countries like China, okay, right now China, they're basically have their own government. They have the rules put in place. So basically, if you want to say something that's controversial, like, let's say, for example, I don't know, the Chinese government sucks, or in this case, the Canadian government sucks because Justin Trudeau. If I said that he was a dictator, I mean, how far is this bill going to be? You know, it's like, what are people doing? What are people doing to this platform? As if it wasn't broken enough. As if it wasn't broken enough, I cannot say... Excuse me, I have to get a coffee. It's cold. It's just been laying there for like 12 hours, but Had some good Joe. Good cup of Joe. Oh. So anyway, yeah. In a nutshell, yeah, these governments they're pushing for more control over freedoms of speech, and it's not right. It's not fair. It's like Canada is supposed to be the freest country in the world, next to America. Um, but this is nuts. This is just so bad. I mean, when we were protesting back in February or March, we were protesting to end the vaccine mandates, and what had happened, you see, was Justin Trudeau. He got away, started posting on Twitter, and then they started arresting people. Now, if this happened again under Bill C-11, talking about certain issues like, oh, I don't know, our freedoms being taken away, it's like, well, if they're not going to come at you one way, they're going to try and get at you through the back door, in which case this would be, in the words of Miyabutahar, some ordinary gamer, yeah, he said it best, the last bastion of freedom that we have is the internet. What's going to happen once that gets regulated? I don't know all the details. I'd have to do some reading, do some investigative journal work, which I don't feel like doing tonight because I'm tired. I'm going out to try and see if I can do a couple things. I have to go out and find work because, as I'm trying to become a content creator, I'm not getting ahead. And on YouTube, you can't really make much money at all. So, but I care about this bill. This bill is really, really, I mean, it's something else. It's like, I guess what one sister would say, Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness. Yeah, there was basically a lot of, government. They're taking control. This is Orwellian. I mean, not entirely, but I mean we're seeing this happen in small steps. I mean, people are not even. I think people are too overwhelmed with many things like the cost of inflation, price of gas, and soon to be food. I was over at the dollar store the other day just trying to get basic items, and what I've seen, seeds, they were running out seeds, and if I had my camera there, if I was talking about issues and how you need to prep, get into a video explaining why, that would be imperative. It would be very important for people to do that because people are they're not getting it, man. They're nowhere near getting it. And I watched a lot of stories. I can't report on everything because if I did, YouTube would strike me back. This is channel, number 6. But I've made over 30 YouTube channels. I must have. And with all the videos that I've made in the past, many of them have already been taken down because, well, as if the censorship is not bad enough, now they're worried about, see Bill 11. So, basically, what has happened to me, it's being censored and shadow banned on YouTube. For me, this doesn't affect me a great deal. But I guess whatever's been happening to me, it's now, they're going to get a taste. Everybody is going to have to be mindful about what they say from now on. If they want to remain on YouTube, because the CEOs of YouTube, they're getting rich off the creators, and some of them have really, they had enough. They're they're coming out now and they're basically saying what is going on with YouTube, and this affects everyone. I don't care what your beliefs are. Some people don't believe in anything. Okay, but you know, just be mindful that whatever videos you decide to make, if you go out of your way and you talk about how, like, let's say for example how bad the government is or how much restrictions we have, this is gonna basically limit people and maybe penalize them. And I should keep my voice down because as of right now, I'm living below my landlord, so I by this time I wasn't gonna stay here. I was gonna try and find another place to live, maybe away from the plantation. I don't know. It would be a good idea because in the city, if you're living in the city, if you're living by yourself, and if you're outreaching to people on YouTube or BitChute or I don't know, there's Discord, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram. I don't know. I don't use all that. I know what it is. I know what censorship is. I have an idea. I'm learning every day about what Bill C-11 is. And if I missed anything, please write down in the comments section what you think about this, because yeah, that's basically what I feel. 1984. It wasn't just a book. I mean, people are actually, you know what, I think that Huxley, I think that he was right. Adolf Huxley, he was talking about, yeah, all the information exists and people have access to it, but you know, how many people are going to be wanting to read and learn from the information that it is out in the open? So they're not trying to hide it. They just know that as long as people do not stand up for their rights, we're going to be seeing more rights and freedoms taken away. We've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in my country. And people say, oh yeah, Trudeau, he's a dictator. Well, okay. I mean, there's a 97% approval rating. That to me does not look like a fringe minority. I think it's the majority. I think the only minority that exists is Trudeau and his corrupt buddies that are still there in Parliament, and they're not. No, they're not. They're not leaving because, you know, my 2 cents. We had our chance. We had a chance to take back control over our country. And not only did we not do that, we were too polite about it. And I'm not condoning violence in any way. I mean, but we had the internet. We had the freedom of... That's how widespread information gets across. I mean, if Bill C-11, if that actually affects the way that we're supposed to be sharing these types of stories, like, yeah, corruption in the government, and that Trudeau, he is a dictator. For example, I mean, there's other people, which, you know what, you're more than welcome to share it down in the comments below. I read people's comments. I care about freedom of speech. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to everyone. You know, everybody has to decide their own level of involvement. Are you going to let this happen? Are you going to write a letter or speak your mind? You know, because if everybody starts doing that, we could actually all get our freedoms back peacefully, and we won't have to, you know, drop the hammer, you know, and go after these people in person. We won't have to take it to the streets. It doesn't have to get violent. People, they have, you know, for the first time we've had in history, like, people have power. They have real power. You know, they have the power to say something in front of a camera that means something, and people will look at it, they'll watch it, they'll rate it, like it, share it. And yeah, power of media is a powerful tool to use. if that gets affected in some way, with the censorship, that's going to be a big problem to our liberties and our freedoms. So, what I'm saying is that, yeah, people, they need to act, take action. We got to fight. We need to fight back for the rights, not for ourselves, but also for our children's futures, because kids these days, they're growing up faster. I'm sure that they're smart enough to understand that, the freedoms that we had, when COVID started with the vaccine mandates, it's taken away a lot of freedoms, and now they want to seek to control the internet. Is that right? No. No, it's not. It's not right. People, they have work to do. I'm not kidding. If you want to, you can help share this video or create your own. One thing I don't want to see anymore is people who have YouTube channels but they have no content of their own. So I challenge people, yeah, if you don't have any content of your own, well, get your lazy butt off the chair and just get to work, Start vlogging, start vlogging. Do something. Talk about this issue. Talk about this issue. Right here. Bill C-11. Because if we let this get out of control, we could say goodbye to what little rights and freedoms that we enjoy so much and take for granted that we have left. And you don't think that that's not going to happen? Think again, because if we allow this to continue, it's going to get to the point where we can't say anything negative. We can't criticize our leaders, the CEO of YouTube. They're going to be censoring people like they have with me, and I don't really care, because what more can they do, honestly? I mean, I've already said my piece, and I wish that, yeah, if more people woke up to this crazy mess that we're in right now, in the times that we're living in, the times, okay? And you guys are free to make up your own minds. I'm not a preacher. I'm just a filmmaker. I'm not working right now in a week. If I'm lucky, I could be working at a coffee shop. But yeah, I'm just at that point now where I'm just trying to survive. I'm living week to week like so many other people, one paycheck away from homelessness. So yeah, I mean, I worry sometimes about the future of our country, and the fact that yeah, if we don't do something now to combat censorship and take back our freedoms before it all, gets taken away for good, maybe. We need to act. We need to take action. We need to do it peacefully. We have to be smart. We have to be not idle. And not to be lazy. That means not having no content on your channel. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. You have, for the first time, you have phones. You can hit play. You can hit record. You can say, hey, I don't like C-11. This is why. And then say what it is you want to say. Stop the video. Go to YouTube and then upload that. Upload that crap. Do it. Simple. And if 5 people watch it, well, 5 people will show maybe 5 more people, and then before you know it, you'll have 1,000 people talking about Bill C-11, and then that's going to be enough to create a landslide. And then these people at the top who think that they can get away with, controlling what we say, what we think, they're going to cave. They're going to be like, okay, enough people are speaking out against this. Let's, we need to, change the bill, because we have rights. We still have our rights and freedoms to say something. But the more that they're going to reinforce this bill, it's going to be harder down the road. The more that these restrictions keep getting enforced, is going to limit us to basically what we can say, and that's not good. We have the freedom to go out there and use our voice. We had our freedom to use our voice out in the streets. Those days are over. So now this is it. This is the last bastion of freedom, as Miyamura said. You know, some ordinary gamer, and I'm just some ordinary filmmaker, and I'm done. That's it. I gotta go get some coffee now. But yeah, sure. Like, comment, all good things. Stay crafty.
Before he really leaned into the woke stuff, I just thought he was a kind, sensitive guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's probably a good, disposition to be a leader. But just the way he labeled those truckers as racist for no reason. The people that were protesting against mandates, he decided they were misogynists and racists.
Transphobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, but the way he did it was just like, he just cast a pejorative label on them with no evidence, with there was no provocation. It was just like, I'm going to label them this so that then I can impose laws to stop them from doing what is essentially a peaceful protest.
By the time Orwell married Sonia Brownell, 1984 was written, after which he would never leave his bed again. But he left one final warning.
1984 is, I believe, a quite terrifying masterpiece. So terrifying, in fact, I don't think I should like to read another like it.
I am not absolutely dissatisfied with it. I think it is a good idea, but the execution would have been better if I had not been under the influence of TB when I wrote it.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.